that you have written and published three books,
Mhm.
and
Uh-huh.
it's all self-published, and you have promoted them and written them and edited them. So tell us about the challenges that you faced in writing, publishing, and then promoting the books.
Oh, there were many. So I try to stick to a few. First of all, I mean, You're Stuck With Me for Life is the first novel that I published, but it's not
Mm.
the first one that I started writing.
Oh,
So
okay.
I started writing like accidentally in the middle of it. So I've always written when I've been stressed,
Mm.
right? Whenever I'm going through something big and stressful in my life, I write diaries and things like that. But this time around, rather than writing a diary, I just started writing some fiction. Okay, one day in the middle of the pandemic, my kids like something sweet, and I cooked gulab jamuns for the first time in my life. I was like, wow, you can actually cook gulab jamuns at home. This was surprising. And I started writing about this fictional character, this girl who didn't think that gulab jamuns could be cooked at home, but now she suddenly cooked some gulab jamun and it's turned out to be great, something like that. I started writing. I thought I was writing a short story, but then I kept writing and writing and writing, and then like, okay, now she has a boyfriend, and then this and that and blah. And I was like, oh my god, this is not
Interesting.
ending.
Wow.
It's going on and on and on. What is going on? I'm not able to stop writing. I'm like, oh
Mm.
my god, is this going to become a novel? But I don't know how to write a novel. I had no idea where the story was going. It was all over the place. I had no idea what to do about it. So, as you know, I'm a scientist
Mm.
and I'm a person who is in this educational field. So I'm like pretty, um, used to doing research about various things. So
Mm.
I was like, fine, I have to end this story, which means I have to write a novel. So now let's learn how to write a novel. So I went and started researching how do I write a novel? There is supposed to be a plot. Okay, there's supposed to be a plot. And then you're supposed to have characters and character sketches. And I actually read and went online and searched and
Mm.
tried to learn what are the different elements of, writing a novel. How do I go about this? And then I was very scared. I was like, oh my God, it looks like I'm never going to be able to write this. So I said, fine. I'll give myself an easy task. Whenever we teach our students, we always tell them start with something simple, start with something that you're familiar with, and then build up on that, right?
Mm. Mm.
So that's when I started writing You're Stuck With Me for Life. It was in the beginning of this year, I think, maybe like January or something. I finally decided I'm going to learn how to write a novel. And so, to make it easier for myself, I'm going to start from a starting point, which is true. I
Mm.
enjoy driving a lot. My husband and I, we have been on many, many road trips across different countries, and that is something we connect over. So I said, fine, I'll write about a couple who goes on a road trip and then they fall in love with each other on this road trip. And that's where it started, right? And
Wow.
then I backtracked the story from there because my
Mm.
husband and I, we actually went from a road trip, on a road trip from Indore to this tiger reserve in Ranthambore,
Mm.
right? Many years ago. It was like our fifth anniversary or something, long time ago. And that was a very interesting trip where our car broke down and lots of funny
Oh,
things
wow.
happened. So I was like, let me take that as a backdrop and let me assume that some other couple went on this trip, right? And some other couple who were not in love with each other in the beginning of the trip.
Mm.
And by the
Mm.
end of the trip, they realize that they're in love with each other. Now, if a couple is leaving from Indore and going to somewhere, and usually in this city, they are probably married to each other, and that's why they're going to on the road trip. So I started backtracking, and the story came to me. And then it was this whole challenge of putting things on pages and trudging through, because in a novel it's a significant volume of work. You have to be a bit
Correct.
disciplined, write a
Correct.
few lines every day. And then there are many things that I learned while writing that book, and it was really a fun kind of a journey. It kept me going through the difficult phases that these lockdowns and pandemics have forced a lot of us into. And yeah, there was a lot of learning, and I don't think